let's speak to Mohammad Asif now, director of the Afghan Human Rights Foundation, refugee activist. Mohammad has personal experience of the UK processing system, which he can tell us about now. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Now, I think I'm right in saying that you came to the UK about 20 years ago. You sought asylum here. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
And what was the process like for you back then?
I mean, it was a difficult process when we arrived here. The Home Office was very slow as it is today. When we arrived, there was a new dispersal policy under the Labour government. And then I was fortunate enough to be sent to Scotland. And, you have to wait for months and years, before your process or before your asylum case was decided. And so is the case today.
How long did it take for your claim to be processed?
I arrived in 2000, and it took me up to 2005. Before that, my case was finally decided. I was given some sort of exceptional leave, which I challenged the Home Office because the Home Office do not have the expertise to examine your case properly. They just look at your papers and they said, you don't deserve to be here. And I challenged the Home Office and I won on every aspect of my case. I challenged their exceptional leave, went to the tribunal, but it took me 5 years, nearly 5 years, before I was finally settled down in this country.
And on what basis were you seeking asylum in this country?
On the basis that we run from the barbarian regime, the Taliban, as it is today, which was empowered by Britain and America just recently, last year in August, and the same people are in power, and many Afghans are fleeing the same regime as it was in 2000, sadly. And 2000, the regime was at least recognized by some countries, the Taliban regime, which was a brutal regime. But today, again, 20 or 21 years later, we are back to zero.
If you were to try to seek asylum in the UK, let's say in 6 months or a year, if this current system that government's talking about happens, you would, let's just say that you came by boat, you arrived on the south coast of England, you were processed, taken away and put on within 24 hours, 48 hours, a flight to Rwanda, and kept in a centre there while your asylum claim was processed. Let's say it took, I don't know, 2-3 years, however long, even shorter. And then you were perhaps told, no, you can't seek asylum here. You'll need to go back to your original country. Would that deter you, or would you try again?
I mean, firstly, the UK is trying to run away from its moral responsibility because the UK is signatory to Geneva Convention, on refugee rights here. And right now, the UK government under Boris Johnson and Priti Patel is running away from their moral responsibility. And I always say this, and I want to repeat myself. Refugees at current crisis are the product of British and American illegal wars, like in Afghanistan, in Iraq, in Libya, in Yemen, in Sudan, in many other parts of the world. Refugees are the direct product of British and NATO and American wars, and the very people who are running away from persecution and illegal wars and poverty and dictatorship who are arriving here. And let me tell the government today that the bulk of refugees or asylum seekers, as the Home Office call them, go to the neighboring countries. Like right now in the height of refugee crisis in Ukraine, look at Poland. Poland is taking millions of refugees, where the British government is not even taking 20,000 Ukrainians. So right now, under the new legislation or new policies, Ukrainian will not be eligible. They will be eligible to claim asylum in this country, and they will be sent to Rwanda. Yeah. Rwanda is a country where the human rights, a violation is, great.
Yes,
there is
absolutely.
no human rights. There is no.
Mohammed, I just want to ask you, because time is a little bit tight. These are the plans that the government are talking about today about male migrants, such as yourself, being sent on a plane to Rwanda because they want to deter people. They want to, work out who's got a claim and who hasn't, and ultimately they want to deter the huge numbers as they see it. If that had happened to you, would it have been effective? Would it have deterred you, or would you have tried again?
No, it will not be effective, to be honest, because the asylum system here in this country is flawed. Many cases are won by appeal at the immigration tribunal. Majority of the cases are won at the immigration appeal tribunal because the home office system is flawed. The home office system is unfair. And right now, and I'm quite sure, Boris Johnson and Priti Patel has come with a plan which is not workable. It will not work. It is very, very costly. And I'm very sure that, no disrespect to Rwanda. Rwanda is a country run by corruption. And at the back door, I'm sure Priti Patel has bribed that particular country, passing their responsibility to a country which is very, very, poor in human rights. And I'm sure, this system will not work. It is very, very expensive. It's not workable, and people will come back. And there is no such thing under the Geneva Convention that if you're male, you don't come to Britain, and if you're female, you come here. That is just, I don't know what to say about it, but it's just not workable.
Okay, Mohammed, thank you for talking to us. That is Mohammad Asif, director of the Afghan Human Rights Foundation, refugee activist who came to this country in 2000 from Afghanistan and now lives in Scotland.